in annoying places for the team. All right, so now's a good time to start asking questions, and I will start taking questions from the chat. Woohoo! Buy a glorious Afro wig. That's probably going to be one of the things, although these headphones might have something to say about it. Be interested to see you in a wig of the character you're coaching that day. That will require a lot of customization. Like, I think getting a tracer wig would require work. What do you do when Hook is down in fights? You either, like, if the fight is mid-range, then you just want to be very careful, try and hold positions, like around cover. So you just want to duck in and out of cover, fire a right click, and just hope that stuff works and wait for the hook to come off cooldown. If it is a more mid-range brawly fight, just try and get into them and then try and left click stuff to death. Especially try and just put the left clicks in the middle of their tanks, get rid of barriers, get rid of the tanks, make life hard for their tanks. If you can land a shot on something like a Tracer or a Mercy or Anna or whatever, take it, but whatever. Increase stream quality now? It wouldn't be a good idea. Like, the bandwidth goes down for a period of time, and as long as I'm still uploading, I don't think the actual timer on it changes. It would just fuck with the quality. It's not worth it. What are the best situations to use Hog's ultimate in? When the enemy team is trying to push, absolutely the best time to use it. The enemy team is trying to advance forward, and if you just hold Hog, they'll lose their Reinhardt barrier, and then they'll just be pushed back. So they can't actually do anything. They can't actually work with the Whole Hog. They can't actually do anything with the Whole Hog. Genji ultimate's always a good time. Just remember that Genji will start deflecting at some point. He will just put deflect up, so just turn, face a wall, then turn back, and just keep deflecting. Or just find something else to shoot at. Just, remember, Genji will deflect it. He wants to deflect it. So yeah. Nano boosted Reinhardt's, again, really, really strong. Graviton Surge, when your team uses it, if you have nothing else going into it, just put a Whole Hog in it. You can't push them out the Graviton, and you will just get 6 apple kill. Feels good. Yeah, I think that about covers them. What's the most massive mistake a Roadhog can make? Just being, like, overexposed, basically. So if you aren't near cover and you're just standing in the middle of places, not behind a barrier, not behind a wall, if you're just standing around and just taking damage, you are just feeding the enemy team so many ultimates. And you've got to be very careful when they have like a Tracer or a Genji, because Tracer and Genji are going to use you like a battery. They can't really kill you unless they use the ultimates. Genji kind of can, but Tracer will struggle. So just try and put yourself in places where Tracer's going to have a hard time dealing damage to you. And just be very careful about where you're positioning. Make sure you're never standing out in the open. Always be near something to hide behind and use cover, because you want to just hook, kill, go back in cover, and hide. And then come back out, hook, kill, go back in cover. And it's so hard to beat a Roadhog doing that. You can't just bully him down. You can't shoot him and build up your ultimate and then use that, and he's just going to get kill after kill after kill. Otherwise, you just poke out, fire into their barrier, poke back in. And you just use the cover instead of using a barrier or something like that. Is there any use in having a Reaper on a team when you have a Roadhog? Does Roadhog just do Reaper's job better? If they have like a really tanky team that's super close range, then you could justify a Reaper, but in general, no. Roadhog is literally just a better Reaper. Roadhog is Reaper with a worse ultimate, but with mid-range threat and the ability to one-shot most heroes, which Reaper can't do. Why play a Reaper? It's coaching the many Reapers like a good idea to watch. Just because I go into like Roadhog versus Reaper, and basically Roadhog just is more useful. Reaper needs something to make him better, basically. Any tips for new Roadhog players? Very similar to what Doodoo Doom asked. I like the name. Or is it Doodoo Doom? Who knows? But yeah, just be very careful when you're positioning. Stay behind Reinhardt barriers, stay in cover. Use your hook a lot. Like, just use it. Don't think of it as a long cooldown. Just fire it at stuff and just see if it sticks. It'll get you used to throwing it out there a lot. It'll get you used to how it works, and yeah, you'll just get a lot of value out of it. You'll be surprised. If you're being healed, should you use self-heal? Let me guess. It depends. It depends is always the answer. And it kind of is in this one, so let me break it down. Like, when should you self-heal? You should self-heal when you're in combat, because when you're in combat, you don't want to, like, the Mercy's probably going, fuck, I need to heal this person, and 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 I need to heal this person. Like, she isn't going to be like, oh, thank you for building my ultimate, Roadhog. No, it's like, people need healing there, 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 and there. If Roadhog can get maxed up, Roadhog just maxes himself up. So just use it. If you're taking a shitload of damage, but there is still a fight happening, then don't be afraid to use it then, because you are effectively just sponging damage that isn't going on to the rest of your team, and the rest of your team should be just getting kills off the back of it. Otherwise, like if there's no fight happening and like everyone's just getting healed back up, don't self heal. Unless you are really close to your ultimate, in which case self heal, because you can build your ultimate off the back of it as well, which is quite nice. In my general advice with stuff like this though is just don't overthink it. If you need healing, heal yourself. Unless everything is absolutely calm and the Mercy even says, "Don't worry, I can heal you up," like just do it. Because if you don't and you die, you feel like a complete retard. I really shouldn't use that word. You feel like a complete and utter moron, although technically it's correct. But whatever. It's just not a good idea. Like, don't overthink self-healing. It's like picking up health packs. Just pick it up. Don't overthink it. Is there any use in having a Reaper on the team when you have a Roadhog? Yeah, I already answered that one. Is the enemy hog my main priority after like Mercy? The enemy hog is something that you should be looking to control, but you should be looking to control all of the tanks. Like, you should be... Think of yourself as something that means that the tanks can't take any liberties. They can't do anything excessive. Like, Reinhardt has to keep his barrier up, otherwise someone gets hooked. The second you hook, Reinhardt can start making plays, you can start earth-shattering, you can start fire-striking, you can start doing things. As long as you are just waiting and just slamming damage into his barrier, he just has to keep it up and wait, and you can just keep Reinhardt honest. So Reinhardt's one of your highest priorities. Enemy Roadhog is as well. If he tries to advance forward, past the barrier, hook him. If he tries to heal, hook him. If he tries to hook someone, hook him. Slam damage into him. He's just a big, easy target for you to hit, so you're going to get damage on him. Zarya is another good one. Once Zarya's used her barrier, you just want to punish the shit out of her. She's got a big, meaty body, easy to land shots on. Orisa is exactly the same. Big body, easy to land shots on. Kill Orisa barriers in seconds. Kill Winston barriers in seconds. If they have a Winston jumps, you just try and position so that you catch him, and so that the bubble falls around you and him, and you just hook, shoot. And the reason why you hook is just crowd control. The rest of your team should just pull in and just kill him. And once he leaves the barrier, just shoot the barrier, and like shoot it twice, and it will go away. And if the rest of your team is shooting it, you only need to shoot it once. It was good, man. How do you deal with squad comp as Hog? Squad comp, I'm assuming you mean dive comp, maybe? Dive comp as Hog is you stop playing Roadhog. If you're very good at Roadhog, you can do it. You've just got to be very aware of like how Tracer is going to blink. So Tracer is going to fire, blink, fire, blink. And if you get used to the rhythm of what she's doing, most Tracers fall into a rhythm of blinking when they reload and just anticipate, you can get a kill on her. You can also just get a good left click on her and she'll go down. But just understand that they will be battering off you. The best thing you can do is just get rid of the Winston or try and punish the healers when they try and come in to try and support the team. Otherwise, like, you probably don't want to stay on that Roadhog too long. Where does body blocking fall in Roadhog's priority list? When I try practicing Roadhog, I tend to die very quickly, and I think it's because I'm out in the open so much. That's probably exactly why. Body blocking is something you should do very rarely. Body blocking is basically denying the enemy an escape, usually. So when the enemy, like, if the enemy's area is like trying to back around a corner and you are just there, just stand in a position where she can't walk past you and just form a wall. It's very rare that you want to actually do it. There's other instances very specific of like, oh, as Roadhog, if Reinhardt is charging your Bastion and he's probably going to hit, jump in front of the Bastion and take the charge, because you can take it and Bastion will probably kill Reinhardt before you hit the wall anyway, so it's worth doing. But they're very, very specific and niche sort of reasons. In general, if you are body blocking, like, you shouldn't be out in the open without a barrier, basically. Very rare that should be happening. That's when you will die, because 600 hit points, as D.Va players learned, 600 hit points with no armor, not very much. 600 hit points with 200 armor doesn't feel like very much. 600 hit points with 0 armor is just paper. It goes down super fast, so you've got to be super careful. What do you do on solo time in the team comp? Honestly, either your DPS are playing out of their minds, and so you can afford to do it, and you just be you just try and keep the enemy team honest, and like try and keep the enemy Reinhardt focused on you, so that your team can go and do things. That's generally what you'll be trying to do, or you'll be trying to punish them if they try and overextend or dive on your team, for example. But if you are solo tanking, you probably don't want to be on Roadhog. Roadhog isn't a good solo tank. Roadhog is a heavy bruiser. He wants to be sort of supporting the tanks and keeping other tanks in check. He doesn't want to be doing tanking himself, because he can't really do it. He can't like run in front of the enemy and block a shitload of bullets, because he's just going to die. It doesn't work. So yeah, don't do that. Like, swap to Zarya, who can kind of do it. Winston can kind of do solo tanking. Reinhardt can solo tank. Orisa can potentially solo tank quite well. Yeah, and just go with that. You said use the hooker, only has an 8-second cooldown, about 1,000 times. Anytime you wouldn't hook other than barrier. Rare, like, experience has taught me this: the hook lands more often than it doesn't, especially when you're practiced with it. And the times when it misses, you could generally just reposition, wait, and then get a new one in the time it takes for them to actually do something and make a play off it. Times when I wouldn't hook, it's extremely rare. Extremely rare. Like if they're really just peeking around a corner and trying to clearly bait it, then maybe. And like if I'm surrounded by the enemy team and someone's already in my face, then maybe like I wouldn't do it then, just because getting a shot off is going to be more valuable than stunning someone. If I'm exposed, if I'm like stood in the middle of a field, like if I'm stood in the middle of like a big open space and I throw a hook, then I'm probably just killing myself. If they have a Widowmaker who's particularly good, I want to be a bit careful with my positioning with hooks as well, because greedy hook can basically be a free headshot for Widow, which isn't great. And so yeah. If Roadhog was a sandwich filling, what would he be? If he was a sandwich filling, he'd be like, you know, in like American diners, they have like these big greasy fucking like steak and cheese and bacon and pork and all this shit piled onto one big sandwich. That's what Roadhog would be. It'd be a big, meaty, heart attack-inducing sandwich. How to counter Hog? Zenyatta is great. Tracer is like, people think that Tracer is like this amazing hard counter. The thing with Tracer is you will very rarely kill the Roadhog, but you will build pulse bombs off him very quickly. But if the enemy team is playing properly, like it's very difficult to still get value off of all of that. So another Roadhog, like this is why Roadhog has been in the meta in like the pro scene for freaking ages and doesn't really seem to be disappearing. It's because Roadhog counters Roadhog. Roadhog also just keeps enemy tanks honest. So yeah, I'd say don't play Roadhog into like enemy Zaryas who are particularly good. Zarya does a good job of just denying you a lot. If the Zarya is just catching people in barriers every single time you hook, then you got to be more careful with your hooks. That's actually a good point. If the enemy Zarya is very on point, just wait until she's used her projected barrier or wait until she's used her personal barrier and then hook accordingly. If she starts predicting your hooks, then it's, you know, you got to be careful. If they do get buried, just don't fire the shot, whatever you do. In terms of counters, headshots, Soldier 76 is very good at him, just reliable damage. McCree's very good at him. Flashbang really just screws him over. Diva's very good at him. You just block the damage he does. Like, it's more about like punishing him when he gets too greedy and just landing shots on him when he's available. And that's how you do it. You can use melee to bait out blinks too. It looks like a hook at first. I didn't know that. That's not a bad idea. Sorry, barrier teammate, pre-hook or post-hook? Post-hook. Like, you basically want to wait for like the chink of the hook to land, and then you just put the barrier on that person. They get pulled in. Hog naturally is just like it going, and it's asleep at the keyboard, and it just has his left mouse button held down, and so we'll shoot it, and then you get 40 charge, and then you kill the Roadhog. Any point in playing Roadhog with no shielding? Not really. As we saw in this game, like when we had no shielding, we were just doing nothing. Like we couldn't do anything. When did you switch off Roadhog? If you're just constantly dying, if you're not really getting any kills, and if the enemy team has like a million ultimates, it's usually a sign that Roadhog is not doing much. If you just aren't killing stuff and there's no Reinhardt barrier to shoot, don't bother. Like Roadhog should generally have pretty high eliminations. Isn't Roadhog, this isn't Roadhog related, but when you're a soldier and you have visors, should you wait for the nano boost or just let it off? Just let it off. Or like, well, I read that question sort of wrong. If you have tactical visor, you want to ask the Ana, how much charge do you have? Because if she's on like 90, then you'll go, okay, let me know when you have it, and I will ask for it. Okay? And this is the thing, you want to make sure that you are asking for the nano boost, because if she just puts it on you, you might not be ready, you might not be prepared, and it's going to cause you all kinds of problems. When the Ana has nano boost ready, if you press Q, she will just try and put the nano on you. And just make sure that you are in a position where she can, and she will do it. Because as an Ana player myself, it's like, soldier's tank visored, I'm going to nano boost him, because he's just going to get kills, and that's what we need. So it's like the best decision I can possibly make, usually, is just putting the nano on him. Best and worst Roadhog counter, kind of cover that. Like best Roadhog counter is probably Zarya, just in terms of you shut down his hooks, and if you shut down his ability to get picks, then he's just, ugh. I'd say I'm gonna just like change the question slightly. Worst hog counter in popular opinion is Tracer. In my mind, I think Tracer, you can run rings around the Roadhog, but A, it's risky. A good Roadhog will be able to fucking kill you sometimes, and that's going to punish you. B, you'll never actually kill him. You will build pulse bombs, but you won't kill him, and so you're not solving the problem with the Roadhog. He's just going to still get picks on the rest of your team, and while you're building pulse bombs, he's killing kills. And you have to use that pulse bomb that you build off him to kill him, in which case, you're not really doing much. Otherwise, like, yeah, like Reinhardt's not a good pick into a Roadhog. Although you kind of need it, but hey, Winston is a really bad pick into Roadhog. Just be very careful with the Winstons. Yeah. Not hog related. If I die at the start of the team fight, do I get Mercy to rest me or save it? This is it feels like a cop-out answer, but it really does. It depends, and it depends on, like, do you have ultimate available? How is the team fight looking in general? Like, are you in a good position to just win it? Are more people likely to die in the next couple of seconds? Mercy probably knows that you are dead. Just saying I'm down in voice chat as well, or I'm down as Anna, like Anna is down, our Anna is down, or whatever, might work as well. Just let Mercy make an informed decision. Trust in the Mercy's judgment. Because there might be other things happening in the team fights. You might be waiting for more people to die. A death call isn't a bad idea. Just saying, guys, we have res, die. And yeah, and then she just picks everyone up. In what situations do you use left and right bumper clicks in your case? Close range, you use left click. Medium range, you use right click. When they are past, I think it's 9 meters is when you want to be using right click technically. If you can't judge that in game inherently, just go into the practice range and like fiddle around with it a little bit and have a look at how it feels. Right click is fiddly to land, but it's more likely to one shot. Way more likely to one shot stuff. Just make sure you lead the target ever so slightly, and I find it works way better. And yeah, just go with that. It has like a projectile travel time basically, so you've got to lead slightly. In general, you just want to be right clicking into barriers as much as you can. Just, you know, don't use right click when it's below short range, or you'll do like 20 damage and waste one of your 4 shots, which is super important. So yeah, stop it with the soundby stuff. You're making me hungry. Never. Should I be using Whole Hog to counter enemy ults like Dragon Blade? Similar to yes. If you have ever played Genji and you shout in Japanese gibberish and you draw your sword and you jump in and then you go flying the fuck back out because Roadhog's ulted, even if you deflect, you are still being launched out of like the fight and you won't be able to get back in because you're not killing anything. So you don't have the dash to get back in. So then you just stand around with your sword out going, and you feel really stupid. Even if you deflect it, it's still going to stop, you know, and people use sound barrier to counter fucking Genji ultimates. Whole Hog is nothing compared to a sound barrier. So if you can use a Whole Hog and counter an ult as big as Dragon Blade, great. Dragon Blade is just good. Whole Hog is just good when the enemy team wants to do something, and you just say no, fuck off. That's what Whole Hog is. That's how I think of Whole Hog. Kills aren't really important with Whole Hog. It's just a big no. You aren't doing anything while I'm firing this. You don't get to do things anymore. I'm pushing everyone. Let's see. What do you think of a cheeky Roadhog flanks? Is it worth sneaking around to try and take out the support or backline with a hook? It can be. It's the answer. It's just remember that you are losing a huge amount. Like if they are playing a slow grind team with like a Reinhardt and they don't have a Roadhog, the best way to explain this is in context of the Reinhardt battle, okay? So you have 2,000 hit point barriers on both sides. If your team is likely to win the Reinhardt battle, like you have a Roadhog, they don't, it's generally a very good sign that you're probably going to win it. Just stay with the Reinhardt, win the barrier battle. Like, that's all you need to do, really. Because then when the barrier goes down, you can just hook anything you like. Like, you got free fishing for days. So you don't give a shit. So why would you need to flank in that case? When you think of it like that, it suddenly starts making sense. If you are unlikely to win the barrier battle, that's when you want to be thinking, okay, maybe I should be positioning more to just sneak around, try and get a sneaky hook. Because the disaster that happens, that I see a lot of people do, is they try and get too clever and too cute with the flanks. They whiff the hook, and then you just sort of stood there in the enemy team, and you're surrounded by 6 people, and they just all turn and kill you. And you've just fed 600 ultimate charge. And that's a really bad thing. Really bad thing. So just be very, very, very careful. It can work, but just make sure that you are doing it in anticipation for them pushing. And make sure you're doing it in positions that you can kind of recover from as well. You can just back away safely. You're not too out of position. You can get back to your team. Stuff like, if I just move Twitch chat, do a little bit of drawing. So let's say there's a wall, like there's a choke point here. Like I am fine with the idea, let's use yellow, because it's going to be on the blue here. I am fine with the idea of like Roadhog just standing around here and just waiting for their team to push in, and then throwing a hook out. And as long as like your Anna, for example, could see you and has line of sight to heal you, that's kind of what you want to be. That's an okay-ish thing to do if you are losing the Reinhardt battle, because what that will do is it forces the Reinhardt to make a decision of he has to either turn and face this, or he has to just keep advancing forward, and potentially he gets hooked from behind, which exposes his entire team. and it stuns him up, and it means that he can't do things, or one of the supports gets hooked, and it all goes bad there. Thanks to the coaching, this was hugely helpful. Hopefully it is. Hopefully some of it will be useful. What are the benefits of high ground as hog? You're just difficult to displace. You generally have good angles for hooks. The disadvantage, of course, is that the hook like pulls you a bit weird, so you have less chance of getting a one shot. In general, it's okay-ish. I find Gibraltar's quite good for a high ground Roadhog, because you could start like when they start pushing underneath, it's just easy to get a hook like behind them on the Reinhardt and something, or just pull him away from the fight, and just make life difficult for him. And then when like they're trying to push around high ground, the amount of times I've seen people just get picked by a Roadhog just hanging around the high ground area, you can retreat very easily towards the server room. You can drop down, get behind the Reinhardt barrier, for example. That's a good example of like what I was talking about before with the drawing, of like you have the like this is the high ground, and this leads down to like the server room down here. Okay, and like this is the normal payload path. So the payload pushes up here, and if you're contesting up here, yeah, like have terrible line. Oh no, but you get the idea, right? You have like this area up here on the high ground, and if you're futzing around up here, people, the amount of time I see people like try and poke around too early, not waiting for their supports, and just get killed by a Roadhog here is huge. It's absolutely huge. And if you are in trouble, then you just drop down, and you just go back to your team, and your Reinhardt should run forward and just put a barrier over you. You'll feel nice and safe. Strange, I've never had that much trouble killing Roadhog with Tracer. Wait until you meet better Roadhogs. Wait until you meet good Roadhogs. It will happen. One of the big debates when I was in Italy hanging around with like 10 pro gamers was, does Roadhog beat Tracer? And they were completely divided on it. Because there were some that believed that the Roadhog just has to get one good right click, and if you're good enough, it's not a huge ask, or you just have to get one good hook. And so like Tracer versus Roadhog is like playing with fire. And if you just run forward and just like headshot him, there's opportunities there for hopefully your team will pressure her off and just get rid of her. And even if she does that, like one clip is not going to kill you. You just huff paint and you're fine. Had a situation today. Oh, you must ask you. Okay. Had a situation today where I switched off Hog to Tracer and tried to stall in overtime. In that time, someone on my team switched him, and all my other mains were taken. Tried to get him to switch back, but he would not leave me to play Tracer. I'm only learning, but did not get enough value to maintain my momentum. Most of these kind of situations has happened a few times. Diversify your hero pool is like the simple. It's the easy answer to give, but it's also, in my opinion, the most correct one. Where if you are like completely out of your comfort zone suddenly when someone changes one pick, like you really want to have more options available. You want to be picking stuff up. If you lost that game, like consider this, you were already fucking losing apparently because they'd taken the point and it was in overtime already. You ended up on Tracer, it's a hero you're trying to learn, well, take it as a learning experience. You lost, but you got to play Tracer in a competitive environment. That's an okay thing. Just, be prepared to lose as you try and play Tracer more. It's going to happen, but you win some games. You will completely, the thing with Tracer is this, you will completely take over some games as well. That's sort of the fun part about Tracer. So yeah, have fun with that. Like Sea Surfer can probably testify now. When I pulse bombed him about 4 times in the same freaking match. Yeah, you can really just do work as Tracer. Favorite Roadhog skin? I like the Year of the Rooster one. I think that's the best one. In what situations do you use Suicide Hook? When you've already been booped off. That's pretty much the only time. Or if there's a nano boosted Reinhardt or something, then maybe it's worth it. Maybe. But in general, it's not worth it. Because remember, you're a big 600 hit point object that's difficult to remove. Unless you're already super low to death, then maybe, okay, fine. But if you are anywhere near full health or you could be healed up, not worth it. You lose your hit. Basically, think about your team as like a shared hit point pool. And Roadhog is 600 hit points in that. Well, 3 other heroes make up 600 hit points. Like, it's almost half of the heroes on your team. Basically, in terms of hit points, just jumping off a cliff. Be very careful if you're going to die with that. Then no one else disappointed by the change of Battle.net to Blizzard launcher? I am. I think like the logo is so much worse as well. It's terrible. And that's it for questions. That actually is good timing as well. So that'll do for now. If you do want to send in footage, this is how you do it. Coaching and the chat is how you do it. OEMreviews@gmail.com. Put in the hero name and the rank you wish to play. The rank that is the game has been played at. So, for example, this is a 3000 rank game. Also put in if you're a Twitch subscriber. This was a Twitch subscriber, for example. I was actually umming and ahhing between 2 Twitch subs. I might do the other one tomorrow, which is a game that starts with Roadhog, but then it's like 4 rounds of Winston. And we haven't covered Winston yet, I think. And I played some terrible Winston earlier today, so that should be fun. With the changes to Lucio, could this mean Busio is no longer a joke? Busio is still not optimal, but it's better than it was. But yeah, just keep trying. Logos, like, in situations like that, it sucks, but if people are playing like every hero that you play, take it as a learning experience, and worst case, like, just say someone else should maybe swap. But it's probably already lost. Woohoo, that's me. Yes, that is you. That is you, Sea Surfer. Or Rural, or whoever you are. Are you Sea Surfer? I'm not sure. People keep changing their names all over the place and it confuses me. Anyway, thank you for watching to the end. YouTube, it is appreciated. Feel free to come by and watch us live 10 p.m. GMT. ESL_OneAmongstMany on Twitch. Good times. Yeah, thank you for watching to the end. Doodles. And they're gone.